He burst upon the scene in TV Shameless. Since then has gone on to be one of Hollywood's A-list stars, starring in movies like X-Men First Class, The Last King of Scotland, Atonement, so many more. It's the fantastic Mr. James McAvoy. How you doing, James?
After that rousing reception, I feel rather...
Yes.
I feel better about myself.
That's
so
an exciting reception. They thought Barry Manilow was coming out. It must be that. You know, well, you're a big star now. Here's the weird thing about you, though. I don't know if you know this. I think quite a lot of people don't know you're Scottish.
Yeah, it's strange, that. Eh?
Because I said you were on the show this week and someone said, oh, where's he from? And I said, he's Scottish. And they went, I thought he was an American.
Really? Me, an American?
Yeah, but they must think you do the American accent well enough, or they've seen you in those movies.
Oh, I don't know. You know what it is? It's this weird thing where there's only 6 million Scottish people in the world and there's 6 billion of you lot. So...
Hold it. You can't just lump us all together like that.
Oh, there's us in Scotland and then there's everybody else.
Oh, I see.
No, so if you want to act a lot as an actor, you kind of... You've got to develop an ability to do accents and do all that. So, but it's nice, you know what I mean? Because as an actor, you want to be able to play other people and not just always be telling stories about some guy from Drumchapel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although that's lovely.
Do they understand you, though, if you are working in America with the Scottish accent? Do they... Because even my accent, which is, I think, the Queen's English, sometimes over there they don't understand me. The
one that always sticks in my mind is Robert Redford. There's a name. And well, Robert Redford, yeah. And he did this whole thing where he was sort of like, he wanted me to stay in character and
so he was directing you, wasn't he?
He was directing me, yeah. He was in this thing about the American Civil War in which I was playing an American. He said, so I want you to stay in character and stay in accent all the time. And I was talking to him about 4 weeks in, and I was like doing the accent and saying to him like, oh, of course, because you want me to be in touch with the character all the time. I'm doing this accent and all that kind of stuff. And he was really upfront with me, and he just went, no, it's just because I can't understand a fucking word you're saying. And I just beeped myself, by the way.
Yeah, that was really very good. Yeah. Let me ask Barry, though, because Barry, we have, you know, a rich array of accents here. You have Philip, of course, speaks like he was made in a laboratory to be on TV. So we've got a Scottish accent and a South Shields accent here, which is quite strong. Do you have any trouble understanding anyone here?
Why, aye.
God, Barry.
You know what? He's been rehearsing for hours to get that word. Thank you, Barry. Like Dick Van Dyke's with us. OK, so when you're working on an accent, like America's not like that, how do you know you've got it right? Because a lot of people from over here, when I see movies, I think sometimes it doesn't ring true to my ears.
Yeah. I think one of the main things is not to try and get the sound right, actually. You've got to try and make sure it's still your voice, just with a different accent, because I think what a lot of people do is they end up putting on a funny voice. So it's still got to sound like it's coming for your belly and your chest and your bum and your sort of like... But it is, it's all the cavities in your body that make the sound, isn't it? It's them that give you the resonance, so your bum is a big cavity. Anyway...
Mine is.
Yeah, that was my version of a serious answer.
So basically, so it's kind of relaxing into it and not trying too hard. Because you do a South Shields accent.
Oh, well, I don't know if it would be bang on, but it would be, like, in the vicinity.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good, yeah.
Thanks very much. My mate, when I first went to drama school... Oh, I can't do this, because it's just like one of those annoying actor things, like...
Oh, go on, say it.
Oh, here we go. When I was first at drama school, we had to sit in front of people from different backgrounds and teach each other how to say particular things. So the first thing I ever learned outside of a Scottish accent was sitting in front of my mate Ross Waiton, who's from North Shields, I think, Ross, forgive me if I'm wrong, and he taught me to say, I divn't know what's going on.
Divn't.
Divn't know what's going on.
Divn't know what's going on.
Going on?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a remarkable success, this lesson.
I think, he's from North Shields, he's from South Shields. They just speak very differently there.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like chalk and cheese.
Yeah. You know, the accent I thought really you nailed as well was, and it was more than just the accent, but playing Professor Xavier in X-Men First Class, which is a tough one because, yeah, which is a great movie, of course. You're great in it. But it's kind of a tough one, I guess, because you're playing a role which is another actor has inhabited, but in the older version, it was Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And so do you think, OK, do you have to sound a bit like him? Did you ignore that? How did you finesse that?
Well, I thought it was really important to ignore everything that any other actor has ever done. Well, partly because you want to be able to enjoy it for yourself and all that, but also partly because what's the point in going back in time if they're just the same as they were in 2004 or whenever it was they shot those other films that were really good, honestly, but not as good as ours. And so it was really important. And also, you're setting the first one in the 60s and the next one in the 70s. You've got, like, loads of groovy dialect that you can get a hold of that you don't want to ignore. If I ever play him in the 90s or in the noughties, then I reckon I'll be mimicking him much more. But the next one's the 80s. So I'm trying to think, how can I get Harry Enfield's kind of Wonga mad character...
Loads of money.
...into...
Just go around, go, loads of mutants, loads of mutants. But I guess it must have been a nice thing to know that when you got the part that you weren't going to have to shave your hair off, because he's, of course, bald, and he is bald in the comics, but...
Well, I did actually shave my head. And then turned up and they went, no. It's the 60s, we want him to be, you know, behaired. I don't know, what do you call somebody who's got
I don't think behaired is the right word, though. Behaired.
What's behaired? Is that just somebody who's well listened to?
Hirsute.
Someone just not bald, I think, is...
somebody, they wanted me to be well, not bald.
Yeah.
And...
oh, behaired.
Yeah, and so my hair was about that long when I turned up, because I got the news after I shaved it, don't shave your head, and I was like, all right, cheers. And I turned up with that much hair, so they put in hair extensions.
So the next one, you said it's set in the 80s. The next one's going to be called X-Men Apocalypse.
That's
and
right.
you haven't started filming that yet, I guess.
We start that in April. I do this play first, which I finish in April, and then we go straight on the day after I finish the play.
Okay. And in that, is he now going to be unhaired?
I don't know, actually. I think that he possibly will be. He probably should be.
But how do you look bald? Do you look good bald? Because I know people who think they're going to look bald, and then when they shave it off, they look weird bald. You know what I mean?
I think I'm going to just look like a Glaswegian Ned bald. Do you know what I mean? And Ned is a chav. A non-educated delinquent, and I think I'll probably just look like I'm pure Gonny Chib, you Magneto. that was proper Neddy Glaswegian Barry.
OK, you mentioned the play. So you're back on stage here, and so you were last time you were on stage was Macbeth.
I was.
One of the great roles any actor could have.
I thought you were going to see one of the great versions of Macbeth, but it turned into something else. Don't worry, I'll take up the mantle. It was one of the great Macbeth.
So when you were doing it, how was the Scottish accent? Did you pull that off?
You know, I'd rather just make sure it was a good performance and make the right sound. No, it was nice. Although I did go a bit sort of Teuchter and East Coast rather than Glasgow, so that was strange.
But I don't think of him being Glaswegian, do you, Macbeth?
No, well, he's from... Where's he from? He's from Inverness. Yeah. So he's from
Inverness?
He's from Inverness.
Is that in the play?
Well, he says he's from Cawdor, and that's up near Inverness. So his football team would be Inverness Cally Thistle.
Like he would support a football team.
Well, every man's got his passions when he's done with killing people's kids. You know what I mean?
His football team would be whatever football team Lady Macbeth told him to support, and you know it.
Yeah.
OK, that was quite a good joke, I thought. I thought they'd get something. So, this play, The Ruling Class...
The Ruling Class.
I'm excited about this because this was a movie, I remember, but it was a play before the movie,
It was a play before a movie, then it became a movie, and then nobody ever touched it again from the 60s. And I don't know what the reason for that is, because it was loved in its day, and I think it was Oscar-nominated as a movie as well, but nobody's wanted to touch it again as a play. I think because it's really sort of... It takes a lot for the performers to pull it off. It's one of those ones that if you get it right, it is going to be an incredible piece of evening for people. There's a way to sell something. Come along and have an incredible piece of evening.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think they should put that on the poster.
Nah, what an incredible
piece of evening.
But it's sort of, to try and describe it, I suppose it's like if you imagine Downton Abbey, right? But in the 60s, and everybody's on acid. Wow. And Hugh Bonneville comes back from mental hospital, which he thinks is a dancing academy, and he's been there for 7 years. So he's come back with a lot of moves. That's for real.
It's not really like Downton Abbey at all, is it?
No, but it is. Because it's all about posh folk. And then he comes back and he tells everybody that he's God, and the wheels all come off. And there's a lot of song and dance, and there's a lot of critique of the aristocracy and things like that.
That sounds like a spectacular piece of evening.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
And you want to use that, you can have that. It sounds great, though, but I imagine I would have thought, from the way you've described it there, quite a tough one to pull off, because that's a fairly way out there premise.
I always go for the tough pull-off. Come on, no. Did I mean that?
Or did Lady Macbeth make him say it? It's a good joke. I'm working that joke. You will see that joke at the Comedy Awards in a month's time.
What was the question?
I can't remember. No, it's a tough one to pull off, imagine. It sounds like it's a real a mix of weirdness.
All the best ones are tough ones to pull off. We're going to keep saying pull off until we get a silent response from pull off. So in trying to pull it off, no, the best ones are always hard to get right.
Thank you for saving us.
And honestly, I mean that. My favourite kind of theatre and my favourite kind of movies as well is where I'm watching an actor on the edge of failure and I'm watching a director take such big risks that I feel nervous for them. Because when they pull it off... I really didn't mean that one. But when they get it right, it's sort of uplifting for the audience as well, because there's a tension involved in going, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And that's when you get exciting new stuff, I think. And even though this is a play from the 60s, it feels like something that was written today.
Yeah, well, it opens January the 16th, I think. You're just starting rehearsals now, aren't you?
We're just starting rehearsals. We open January the... like you said. Yeah. We are at...
I'll be there even if you're not.
Yeah,
it's the 16th.
Is it the 16th?
Yeah, I believe so. But you're quite... as I understand it, you like bike riding. I know you... Do you scoot around town or you have your fast bike?
You used to scoot, actually,
I do.
You?
I scooted in today.
You used to scoot?
I love
you
scooting.
You give good scoot?
I mean, I saw you turning up once or twice on your fast bike. And, and now you've got a son, and we're not going to talk about that too much, but I know, you know, are you allowed to ride the bike? Do you feel that's an okay thing to do still?
When my wee boy was born, I was going to get rid of the bike, and it was actually my wife who said, don't. It's part of who you are, and it's... and you should keep it. And she's so much up for the bike. Yay, that's me.
Wow, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Wow,
yeah.
but you're not moving there, you're just leaning.
It's just a green screen behind me, and it's one of those ones you put 20p in.
Wow. I don't go over like that. I wouldn't risk that.
That was Ron Haslam and up at his school that taught me how to do that.
Your knee is actually touching the ground.
Yeah, getting your knee down, that's what it's called.
And you'd be doing, what, 15, 20 miles an hour there? What speed are we talking about?
I think at that point, it's not too fast. I think that's about 40, 45 miles.
Well, that's terrifying, that. But you come off of that, you're going to know it, aren't you?
Yeah, but Ron had me on the back of his, with my arms round him, with this little sort of handle that's on the fuel bit.
Yeah.
And he said to me, and he's an ex-world champion, and he said, if you get a bit scared, just squeeze me and I'll slow down. So, of course, the kind of guy that wants to be Jerry Butler in 300 in you goes like, I'm never going to do that. And,
macho, yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't, to my credit, I didn't. But he was doing a wheelie at 140 mile an hour at one point, and slamming the front wheel down at an angle, which is death to any other rider. Wow. And making the whole thing shake. But he did about 8 laps, and by about the 6th lap, I was going, I'm not going to squeeze him, please go into the pit lane and then go round and do the 7th. I was like, I don't think I've physically got the strength to hold on to this bike much longer. And he came in just in time, otherwise I would have squeezed him.
And did the movie people know that you did that?
I wasn't making any kind of movie at the time.
No,
so
but what about the ones that you would be making a movie for?
He's not like a slave. He can do stuff in between on his own free will. They don't own him.
If they've got, like X-Men, a massive, great set of movies, and they depend on you, and they knew that you were doing a wheelie at 140 miles an hour, barely holding on.
Yeah. Just, can we cut that bit out?
Yeah.
So that Fox Studios don't take my house away from me.
Yeah. Also, I've heard that's something only 15 people on the planet have done. Look, it's lovely to see you again. I love having you on the show. The play sounds great. You must. I can sense that you are fired up about it.
I really am. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be something that is very unexpected. It's going to be challenging and funny as all get out.
Yeah. It's 16th of January. It's called The Ruling Class. It's going to be great. James McAvoy, ladies and gentlemen.